Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to part 2 of the anniversary. So, there won't be as much going on today, because as you know, I talked about pretty much everything in part 1. Most of the updates was in part 1 2 weeks ago. Today is mostly about the new units. Obviously, it's Alice. We expected that. If you've done the new story, you would have seen that she appeared in the new story, so it was expected that Alice was going to be released today. And there are a couple of updates. I might as well check for everything in the news first. Definitely not going to be as long as the stream as last time, because last time there was a lot of stuff to cover, but today's more of a normal one. We don't have much to do, but I still think this unit looks interesting. I was kind of hoping she would be a bit more, different than what she currently is, but we'll have a look at that in a moment very soon. And the arc, we'll have a look at that stuff very soon, but I also want to talk about like this entire anniversary and stuff, because I've had 2 weeks to play this game and have some fun with the anniversary and the events and stuff, so I kind of understand more about the crest system and how those types of things work. So it's been pretty fun over the past few weeks because I've just been grinding a lot, and that anniversary event was actually pretty damn good, and I like that anniversary event. But now that's gone, we've got another new event, which is like a normal event. I don't think it's going to be as exciting, but there's still some nice anniversary stuff going on. But first of all, hey, let's first have a look at everything that is in today's update, and then we'll start having a look at the new units and everything that is on today. So obviously today we've got the new unit and stuff. They've put everything in this anniversary notice, so just go over here and select over here. So today we've got Demonplate Alice. Now, Demonplate Alice and Ascended Rollins, they were both in the new story if you haven't seen it. I finished the story completely. It was actually very good. I like the new story. I don't spoil anything related to the story, but there is another unit that appeared in the story that looks quite exciting, so I'm hoping he ends up releasing at some point in the future, maybe in the next couple of months or so. That'd be fun. But Demonplate Alice, you know what's funny is this Alice is probably the unit with the most shifts in the entire game. And Alice is basically just like a reskin of Theria, technically, because they're kind of... Alice is basically the robot version of Theria, like us, just as simple as I can say it, really. But it's hilarious that Alice now has 5 shift forms. It's pretty crazy, but people love Alice. She's a robot. The arc looks pretty nice. Anniversary login bonus doesn't start yet. That'll start next week. And you can get some more anniversary gacha tickets, so I will be talking about the banners and stuff later. I had some more testing with Ascended Roland. He's actually a very strong unit, and I've been using him a lot. He's very good. He's definitely my best damage dealer unit right now because I don't have Shaltir, and if you don't have Shaltir, he's just an amazing unit. So make sure to get these tickets. Use those tickets. If you don't have Roland's, see what you've got on your account. It might be worth getting Roland. It depends, but he is just a damage dealer. He can carry you through a lot though. And we've got the daily temples gachas. That's going to be starting next week as well on the 30th of April. I do really like these because you can get guaranteed SSR Plus in the middle, and then at the end it guarantees a unit. It's random, but I've been getting a couple of new things from this banner, and it's a free banner, so I really like this banner. Especially if you're missing a couple of units, even Descent of Heroes units, you have a chance to get something from there, so that's nice. I did get like an old... what was it? An old version of Ray I got from this, so even though it sucks, it's still going to be some free crystals, so can't complain about that. And some other promotions, don't really need to talk about this, these are pretty normal promotions. And the event itself, this isn't going to be as fun of an event compared to the anniversary event, because that was the main event, right, for the anniversary. Yeah, is the Dark Lord guy dropping? I don't know. I don't know if he's going to be in 2 weeks from now. That would be cool, but I don't think so. I don't really know. We don't know. It would be cool if that's the case, because him in the story was pretty damn awesome, and I feel like when he releases, he's going to be quite strong. Like, he has to be, because in the story he was incredibly good, right? But we'd have to wait and see on that one. I think he's definitely going to be releasing sometime soon. Like, at least, if it's not in 2 weeks from now, it's definitely going to be in the next couple of months, I would assume, because they showed him in the story and showed his skills and stuff out in the story, so I would assume he's going to be very soon. And this is a new high difficulty stage. I've already done this today by myself. It's not that difficult if you have, you know, some decent units built. Like, if you have Ascended Roland, he's going to basically carry you through this, and he's a very good unit to use against this boss, so there you go. And if you've also got Spirit Maiden Sarah, she's going to be a very good support against this boss, and if you've got both of those units, that's all you really need, and this boss will be super easy. So if you don't have those units, it's going to be a bit more difficult, but you can obviously do it with other units. You don't need them. Those are just the best units that I've used. And you've got Shifter Del, he can be pretty good for this, and obviously other supports like La Bref is going to be pretty good. But I don't think it was that difficult, at least for me. Do the God stage. This, you can only use 3 units in this God stage, and then this unknown stage is a multiplayer only stage. We've had bosses like this in the past, and they are usually more higher difficulty stages, right? And it says that it has extremely high difficulty. Well, it wasn't that difficult for me, just because I had a, you know, good amount of units built. I used Spirit Maiden Sarah, Ascended Roland, and Reese with her max insight skills and everything. That's very easy for the God stage, so it's not. You definitely need some survivability and some healer, and a decent damage dealer like Ascended Roland or Shifted Dale or Solstice or someone like that. Unit damage ranking is going to be on the 2nd of May for Soleil, Ascended Roland, and Gobble for whatever reason, who knows, but yeah, those. I like these events just because they're extra crystals, so even though they may not be the most interesting thing ever, it's free crystals, so can't complain about that. And Tower Tribes Earth is going to be starting on the 30th of April with 30 floors, so that's okay. And then some other events, and the gachas themselves, there's not as many interesting gachas in this update, but there are still some nice ones. Obviously got the typical Descent of Heroes banner for the new Demonplate Alice, which is, of course, is going to be normal. This one's the step up gacha, and there's also the normal gacha for Alice that's normal, and there's also the guaranteed banner. If you want the new art guaranteed, which I don't recommend doing at all, it's 10,000 paid crystals, get it guaranteed. I don't recommend it because the art doesn't look that amazing. It's definitely not worth it, so just probably ignore that unless you desperately want it for PvP focused things, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. And then we've got a rerun of Leonardo's banner. Now, Leonardo, I mean, I think he's good, right? Do you really need him? Probably not, but he is a pretty good PvP unit, and he can also be used in PvE, and he was my first damage dealer when I made this account, so he managed to carry me through the entire story. Don't really need him, but he has good SCT regen in his kit. I can't really make this any louder than I can because it's already at max volume for me, so nothing I can really do about that on my end, at least. And also the arc on this banner is pretty good arc, I'll be honest. It's pretty nice, but it's still going to be a 0.4% chance, so don't chase for it much, because this is never a good idea. I don't really share arena builds, and my build isn't that great considering my account is only like a couple of months old at this point. But I did get his UR arc recently, and he's at plus 20. He's not the strongest. There are a lot of other players that have even stronger builds, you know. Las Cloudia Rewards, Godforge Alchemy for Logia, Zekers Forgate, and Prefect of God Garland. I don't think that's going to really make a massive difference for those units. Zekers Forgates, Godforge could be nice. I haven't seen them yet though. And then that's pretty much it for everything in this update regarding the news. So before we get into the new unit and everything, let's have a quick look at the banners. So if you are just starting, then yes, now is a good time to reroll. But if I were to choose a banner to reroll on, I do think Roland definitely has the better banner for sure. Yeah, I'll look at those tickets in a moment, but with that credential equipment ticket, I can't really show everything because there's way too many credential equipments, right? But I can at least say some notable ones, like the accessory for Telestio is a very good one. It's one of the better ones in there, and like Lilah's equipment. Just the more higher tier, top tier units, usually their equipments are going to be pretty good, but just make sure to check them first. A lot of the older ones are just unnecessary, you don't really need those at all. So with UR arcs, in this game UR arcs are a bit, you know, they're very difficult to get in the new banners, so I wouldn't worry about it, because if you go to probability, the chance for getting a UR arc is very small, it's only 0.4%, so if you already have the units, just don't worry about the arc at all. If you are like really thinking about it and you really want it, maybe just do a couple singles. Like if you have some paid crystals, maybe do the daily paid gacha per day, like I like doing that. But if you don't have those, just don't worry about it, because trying to get UR arc is a terrible idea. It's not going to work, because you either get it very early or you just never get it at all, right? Because the chance is so small, I would just not worry about it. And we've also got Redux. This is Leonardo's banners in here, and the special banners are still available. I do think this UR is pretty damn nice, and obviously got tickets and stuff, but let's have a look at the new banner. First of all, so let's start having a look at Demonplate Alice, because she looks interesting. I'm not 100% sure if I think she's going to be any good yet. Like, I kind of have some negative thoughts on her, but she does have some potential to be pretty decent. I just don't really know yet. Definitely going to need some testing with this unit to really understand and really see if she's going to be any good. But so far, a lot of people have been saying it doesn't look super impressive, but obviously let's cover it anyways. So Demonplate Alice looks pretty great. I was hoping she was going to be a very strong like special damage dealer, because we need a unit like that for raid bosses, and even the crest boss stages are pretty strong, and because specials actually stop time in those newer content stages like crest stages and the raid boss stages, specials are a lot more useful now, because in the past, well, let's go back a moment. In the past, at the very beginning, specials used to be very broken, and then they made it so time trials, the specials didn't stop time anymore, so they kind of fell off completely, and people stopped using specials. But now, it's changed again, because now we have more content, but specials are more useful in the newer content, like the raid bosses and stuff I mentioned just now, so I feel like special damage dealer units are going to be more relevant now, so I'm hoping it's pretty good. So she's a machine type, of course. She's Alice, she's going to be a machine type. Her stats look pretty good, high strength. Yeah, well, I probably say a lot of things a lot, but I can't help it. It's just the way I talk. You know, I try not to repeat stuff I say, it just happens. Mind is pretty high. She does have some magic damage mitigation, so that's pretty nice. Attribute resistances look pretty good. Minus 32 Earth makes sense because she is a thunder damage dealer. I was kind of expecting her to be maybe a dark thunder hybrid damage dealer, because in the story she was kind of dark, and Demonplate is like dark, and Ascended Roland was also dark, so I was kind of expecting another type of dark unit, but being thunder's completely fine, because we haven't had a thunder unit in quite a while, and I was kind of wanting another thunder unit because it's been quite a while since we've had a good one. Ailment resistances look pretty good, because you've got nil to curse and some stun resistance and nil to illness, so very good stuff here for ailment resistances, very good. These three are the main three that you like to see for a physical damage dealer. So I like that a lot. And her skills, I think her skills are kind of where it gets a bit more, you know, tricky, because I don't know how I feel about these skills yet. I think her skill 3 looks like it could be fun, but let's just go one at a time first of all. So her skill 1, I think is a bit weird. Sidewinder, instantly close the gap for a small area thunder combo attack. This one is 8 hits. It looks pretty fast, but the problem is I have gone and looked at her kit and everything already, and it does seem like she's trying to be a long-range damage dealer. And when you have a long-range damage dealer and you have a skill 1 that closes the gap, are you really going to use it? You're probably not going to want to use it because you don't want to close the gap. You want to stay as far away as possible. So it's not my favorite, but on the other side of this, the skill 1 doesn't look that bad, because I've tried the skill and it looks like it does keep some distance between her and the enemy when she uses it. She kind of like goes around the enemy and goes behind the enemy. You'll see that once we see our animations later on, but it doesn't look that bad. Obviously you won't get the maximum benefit from like Megalodon and stuff like that for long range damage and damage caps, but it could be an okay skill, I suppose. We're going to really have to see how good it is in the unit test play quest and stuff, but I think it looks okay. Nothing super crazy about it. I just wish it was a long range skill. The fact that it has a closer gap skill and she's mainly a long range damage dealer kind of sucks, and it feels terrible. But because there's still some distance between her and the enemy when she's using this, it's not that bad. I thought it was going to be worse, but it's okay. And then her skill 2, I don't know how I feel about this one, honestly. Tetra Bind is a wide area long range thunder combo attack around the target. This one is 15 hits. It looks nice, I like the animation, but I just really hate the delay when you first use this skill. It is quite a long delay, and it can't really be spammed that fast, so I'm not a big fan of this one. I wish if there was no delay, if it was faster, it would have been a pretty good skill, but because of that delay, when you first use this skill, I'm not a huge fan of it, because you can quite easily lose your combo when you're spamming this, or if you use a skill 1 and then a skill 2, you're basically going to lose your combo all the time. So I wish her skill 2 was a bit better. Obviously you can spam this and it's decent. I think it could be okay, but nothing completely stands out to me. And then we go on to her skill 3, which is the most interesting skill in her entire kit. But we'll get more to that once we go over her traits, because her trait 2 does enhance her skill 3 by quite a bit, which is interesting, but I don't really know how effective it's going to be. It's a weird one. So her skill 3 is a frontal long range thunder combo attack, and it changes the stats based on the trait. That's the trait 2 that we'll have a look at in a moment. So this one is 18 hits, which isn't that much, right? But this skill 3 is kind of like a mini special skill if you take into effect the trait 2 as well, but we'll have a look at that in a moment, and we'll go in depth in that very soon, but we'll come back to that. Special, I was hoping her special would be very good. It looks okay. I just wish that she had a true dual wield or just more hit counts on a special, honestly. Powerful thunder combo attack to all enemies, and it changes the attack area to one target when the skill is set. So there is a skill that changes her special to target only one enemy. Why would you want to do that? Well, obviously it would give you some benefit when you have that skill equipped. It's probably going to give you more damage cap, so if you're up against one boss, then probably set that and it'll give you more. But if you're up against multiple enemies, then it allows you to use this against multiple enemies, so I do like that. It allows you to either choose single wield, well, it allows you to choose single target or all enemies, so that's pretty nice. And this one is 45 hits. I wish it was a bit higher than 45, because 45 is not that much for a special, and in the past Alice has usually had pretty high hit counts on a special, or at least she had true dual wield in the past on one of her shifts, so if she had true dual wield, her special would have been insanely good, but because she doesn't have true dual wields and her special's only 45 hits, it's nothing crazy. But maybe with the rest of her kit, her special could be decent enough to be good, but I'm not sure on that yet, so we'll have to see. So, let's go over the traits next. Trait 1, Thunder damage plus 50% and damage cap plus 40,000. Pretty nice. Going to be to all of her thunder damage. That's very good. And then special damage 60% and damage cap plus 60,000. Usually I wouldn't care about this too much, but she does seem like more of a special damage dealer slash physical damage dealer hybrid type unit. So I'm hoping her special does do enough damage to be useful, right? And maybe she's got enough charge speed on her special to charge it quickly. We don't know yet, but I'm hoping so, because that's pretty good. And at the start of the battle, and when special activates, it gives this unit a Demonplate buff. Now, this Demonplate buff effect lasts until this unit is incapacitated, and what this buff does is it allows you to not flinch from magic attacks, and magic attack and special damage taken minus 50%. So the Demonplate buff by itself doesn't give you any damage or anything. All it does is you won't flinch from magic attacks, and you take less damage from magic and special damage. So it's more of a like damage mitigation type skill type buff, but the main thing here is obviously the not flinching from magic attacks. I think that would be pretty nice, so I do like that quite a bit. I wish that there was more in her kit that was maybe like, if you have the Demonplate buff, it will give you some more damage or something. But I know one of her paid equipments does give her some more damage when she has the Demonplate buff active, but we'll have a look at those later on. But I still think it's a decent buff because it does give you, won't flinch and you take less damage. So it's a decent buff. Nothing crazy, doesn't give you any massive damage boost, but it's still a pretty decent trait. And now her trait 2, I think it's interesting. I just am not the biggest fan of it because of how they've done this skill. Think of like a Kamehameha type, thing. It's kind of like that, you've got to charge it up and then you shoot a long, beam, pretty much. It's kind of like that. So every 8 seconds, already off to a bad start, because it's every 8 seconds, you can't like get this buff from anywhere else in a kit, I believe. It gives this unit the ether condensation buff, and whenever this buff stacks, it boosts this buff effect, right? It boosts the level, which we have seen before on some other units, something similar to this. So when using skill 3, it uses this buff. Remember that, it uses the buff, and it strengthens the skill 3 based on the buff level. So let's just simplify it a little bit and understand exactly what this does. So every 8 seconds, you get the ether condensation buff, right? And every 8 seconds, it's going to level up that buff as well. So every 8 seconds, you'll get a stack of this buff, and each stack of this buff will increase the level, and each level will increase, the buff that you get from this, which is at maximum level 4, it expands the attack area and increases the hit count by 12, and increases the damage by 80% and the damage count by 100,000. Now it sounds like it's pretty crazy, right? Well, here's the thing about this trait is it only boosts your skill 3, right? It doesn't boost any of your other skills, it doesn't boost your special or anything, and this is at max level 4 buff. So to get to max level 4, you've got to wait 32 seconds to get to max level 4, and then you'll be able to use your skill 3, and then it will use all of those buffs, and then you'll get this maximum boost for your skill 3, which is pretty crazy. But the main negative thing about this is you can only do it once every 32 seconds, and if you use your skill 3 at any point, then it's still going to use the current buffs that you have. So let's say after 8 seconds you have a level 1 buff now, then you use your skill 3, it's going to consume that level 1 buff, and you're going to get that level 1 effect from it, which isn't going to be that much compared to a level 4 buff, right? So it kind of makes you want to not use your skill 3 and save it for when you have the max level 4 buff after 32 seconds, which isn't my favourite thing, because I would much rather have a chance to get this buff from using her other skills, or when killing enemies or something, I suppose would have been better. I think it's going to be fun, because she's dual wield, and getting this amount of damage cap and hit counts on her skill 3 dual wield is going to be pretty fun and pretty crazy. And she can do like 13 million damage with her skill 3 when she has this max level 4 buff. But you've got to remember, DPS wise, it's not going to be crazy because you can't spam this non-stop because it consumes the buff completely, and you can only do this once every 32 seconds. Now, I know she does have another skill in her kit, which we'll have a look at pretty much right now, which is this one. Gives the unit a level 4 ether condensation buff, and you can only use this once every 40 seconds. So basically, at the start of the battle, you can instantly use this magic spell, right, which will give her the level 4 buff, you know, instantly, and then that will allow you to use your skill 3. Well, if you do have a skill stock of your skill 3 available, then you can use your skill 3, and then it will use that level 4 buff. Then you'll be back down to 0 buffs at level 0, and then you've got to wait another 32 seconds until you get your second level 4 buff. Or you just try and keep spamming the skill and not worry about it. But I do think the nice thing about this is you can get the level 4 buff at the start of the battle because you can cast this. And I do think that could be nice and could be pretty funny if you go into the earlier, weaker bosses, right? And you just go in there and you use this, you cast this, right? Now you've got level 4 buff, great. And then as long as you have a skill 3, use your skill 3, and then you're going to do like massive damage and probably just annihilate every single early boss in the game, right? And I think it could be fun, and I can see some fun things with that. I just don't think it's super practical, and at endgame content I don't think it's going to be that crazy compared to what we already have in the game, being Ascended Roland and Shaltia being the two current best DPS units. I don't think she's going to be able to compete against those two units, but I still think she could be pretty fun because of, you know, at max level 4 buff, you're going to do insane damage with her skill 3 one time only, and then you've got to wait 32 seconds. I think it's... I'm not the biggest fan of it, right? But I can see that it can be fun, because if you're dual wielding, which you should be in PvE content, then this hit count plus 12 should be increased to plus 24 because you're dual wielding, which should double the hit counts even further, which would make her skill 3 60 hits, and then you've got 60 hits times what her damage cap is, and it ends up being quite crazy. But just remember, you can't spam it because it consumes the buff. But I think you should have understood, you should be able to understand exactly how that works now. So let's have a look at the rest of her kit now. She has Ether Full Release, and Ether Full Release Code Beta, which are skills that other shift forms of Alice have had, so they're nothing new for this form of Alice. But what do they do? Just a reminder, this one's basically just equivalent to like a Honey Elixir or Full Charge effect on the unit. You use 200 MP, and then it consumes all of your MP, and then gives you all of your SET. So it's a pretty good skill. It's very nice because SET is very important in this game, and if you don't have something like Full Charge or Honey Elixir, if you're just starting this game, then this will be very useful, because then you have a way to get your SET, and you can just cast this at the start of the battle. The only negative thing is you can't use this and this at the same time, unless you have enough MP for it. A fun thing is this doesn't actually consume all of your MP, so you can use this and then use this as long as you have at least 300 MP, which would be quite nice, because then you can use that and then you have 200 left and then use this. Would be nice, but just make sure you have 300 MP for that. And if you use this first, then you'll have 0 MP afterwards, so make sure you use this one first, and then that one if you do plan to do that. And then this one consumes all MP to restore 100% of unit special gauge once per quest. It's obviously allows you to use your special once per quest, and you can cast this at any time. It's obviously it's pretty useful. If you want her special to be doing decent damage, then I suppose it could be good. But I feel like her main, the main thing in her kit is focusing on her skill 3 and not as much on her special. So I feel like her skills are going to be doing a lot more than her special for this form of Alice, at least. So let's go over to her passive skills now. Attack up max, Fighting Spirit 2, and Fighting Spirit max, very nice. Critical up 3 is very nice to have. Proud Force, anti-physical armor, chance to negate physical damage. Brute Buster is interesting, and anti-type boost. Auto Grand Brave, Auto High Magic Barrier, Auto Haste, Thunder Armor 2, well, yeah, Thunder Wall 2 effect to the unit. I believe that is take less earth damage or something. It's, can be nice. Pride 2 is still not a learnable skill yet, so that is a very nice one to have on physical damage dealers for sure. I do like it. And strength is quite important in the newer boss stages, like the crest bosses. They're going to have insanely high stats, so strength does matter against those bosses at high levels. Thunder High Drive and Mega Drive is very nice. Thunder Attack Race 5, here we go, another Attack Race 5 skill. This is new, but more damage and damage cap for your thunder skills. Well, any type of thunder damage is very nice. And Maglion, boost your damage based on the distance. Now, here's where it gets, a bit weird, because you've got Maglion, right, but you've also got a Close the Gap skill 1, and that is just anti-synergy, kinda, and I'm not the biggest fan of that. If this was not a Close the Gap skill and it was a long range skill, that would have been completely fine and would have fixed the problem. But because of her skill 1 being a Close the Gap skill, and she has, Maglion, which boosts damage based on distance, it isn't the best, I wish this was long range, and that would have fixed it, it would have been fine. But, like I did say earlier, her skill 1 doesn't seem that bad, because she does still keep a distance between her and the enemy, so I don't think it's going to be that bad. Dual wield makes sense. I just wish this was true dual wield instead. A lot of people was hoping to get true dual wield, because true dual wield on this unit would have been very good, because that would have allowed her special to do a hell of a lot more. I would have loved that. That would have been, just a couple of changes with this unit would have made her insanely good. One of them being true dual wield, the second one making a skill 1 long range. If those 2 changes would have happened and would have been on this unit, it would have been a completely different top tier unit, right? It would have been crazy, but oh well. It should still be good nonetheless. Unclad Power, when you don't have an armor equipped, you get 20% more strength, and she does have dual whip, so that's going to be quite nice. Machine Mega Boost and Machine Giga Boost, pretty useful. More damage and damage cap, and some piercing all the time, it's very nice. Special Boost 5, more special damage and damage cap, Giant Killing 5, cool. I believe that's new as well. We're starting to get a lot of Giant Killing skills. We've got Giant Killing 1, Giant Killing 2, Giant Killing 3, I could go on, but I won't. It goes up to 5. Giant Shield 2, Sleeping Lion. I had to look this up because we don't have this on many units, and this is not a teachable skill yet either, so I had to check what this does. But when close to death, very greatly restore HP and increases movement speed and strength by 100% and SCT recovery speed by 50% once per wave. This one is pretty good because the strength plus 100% buff, pretty nice, right? And the SCT recovery speed could be nice, and restores HP, kind of like a, decoy or whatever skill. It's a nice one to have, I suppose. Some mitigation, but the buffs, if they do proc when you're in a PvE stage, the strength buff will definitely be useful. And now we get onto her, unique skills down here, which I'm always excited about. Nullify cut strength and intelligence debuffs from active skills, excluding some debuffs, and there's a chance to nullify critical attached to this unit. Okay, quite nice. Nothing crazy though. When physically attacking, it boosts the damage cap and crit rate based on the distance. There's another skill that's based on the distance, so you've got to be far away from the enemy, which is also another, you know, anti-synergy with a skill 1, because the skill 1's a closer gap skill, so it's still not my favourite, but I have to really spawn it out. But you do want to try and stay as far away as possible to have the maximum damage cap and crit rate from this, and also the damage from Maglion, so just make sure to try and be long range if you can. Chance for special to deal critical damage, and each sword or machine equipped gives you anti-type damage cap plus 3000. So basically you want to have either 2 machines or a machine and a sword. Those are basically her best, you know, equipment options, because she does have machine boosts. So you're definitely going to at least want to have 1 machine, and then the second weapon can be either another machine or a sword. It can be either one. Yeah, we'll have a look at the arc after I've talked about this unit. I don't think it's that crazy though. Full burst, change special from an all enemy attack to a 1 enemy attack. This is the one I talked about earlier, and it increases the special damage by 40% and the damage cap by 150,000. So if you're up against one boss, like in raid bosses and crest stages that has one boss, then definitely keep this skill equipped. But if you're up against stages that have multiple enemies on the stage at one time, then remove it, and it will make your special target all enemies. So I do like that. I just wish you had True Dual Wield. Like, I wish, because that would have been 90 hits for a special with that much damage cap. Would have been crazy, but it's only 45. I mean, I'm still hoping that it can do some decent damage. Let's hope so. Start the battle adds 15% of your mind to strength, and each wave it gradually boosts strength over time. Is a pretty nice skill in PvE content, because more strength is always good to have for sure. And then we get on to the 6 enhanced skills. More special damage cap, take less magic damage by 20%, more crit rate by 5%, machine mastery, so when you have a machine weapon equipped, increase your physical damage by 20% and damage cap by 7,500. Thunder weapon, so if you have a thunder weapon equipped, increase your thunder damage by 20% damage cap by 7,500. So basically you need to have a thunder weapon, and you need to have a thunder, well, you need to have a machine. So technically you don't need a thunder machine. You could use any machine you want, like Trishula, and then your second weapon could be a thunder sword if you really want to, or just, you know, just make sure to have a thunder weapon and a machine in your, you know, in your build, because she is going to lose out on some damage and damage caps if you don't have a thunder weapon and a machine weapon. So easiest option would be going for the Mecha Cannon Veldis machine, because it is a thunder machine. That's pretty damn good for PvE content, so I do like that one, and I would definitely recommend to use that one. Long range attack, so this increases your damage cap based on distance, maximum of 6,000, and then the last one here increases damage cap when hitting weakness by 5,000. So I think she looks pretty good, right? Like, the kit looks good. There's just a couple of negative things I have about this unit, and they're basically 2 things I've already said. Number 1 being her skill 1 being a close the gap skill, right? I wish it wasn't, because her kit does have skills that are aimed towards long range, like Maglion, and these transcend skills, increasing your damage cap based on long range, you know, based on distance, and this one. So she does want to be long range, and her skill 1 kind of ruins it a little bit. I just wish her skill 1 was long range and it would have been completely fine. But maybe there's still a chance that a skill 1 is going to be good enough to get enough boost from, you know, those skills, because she does have some, you know, gap between her and the enemy when she's using this, which we'll have a look at later on. So there is still a chance that it could be still an okay skill, but you're not going to be getting the maximum boost when using the skill 1. So you're probably better off just spamming skill 2 and 3, because those are your better skills, or skill 3 definitely your main skill. And the second negative thing I have about this unit is she doesn't have True Dual Wield. If she had True Dual Wield, it would have been way better. Like, if those 2 changes would have happened, would have been on this unit, she would have been an insanely good unit, I think. But because, like, just those couple of things that don't really work that well in this kit, being her skills not that amazing, and not having true dual wield and a special being kind of not that amazing. I think she's not going to be insanely broken like people were hoping to, and I was hoping she would be in a very good unit, but with, you know, her kit not synergizing with everything that she has, like her skill 1, and, you know, her special not being that crazy, I think she's just going to be, you know, good, just not crazy good. So, she's not going to be a super meta unit unless, you know, unless there's anything I'm missing, but yeah, we'll try her out later on. Just remember, in the unit test play quest, it's not always the best showcase because the enemy's kind of weak most of the time. And yeah, one very important thing: the unit test play quest is not the best showcase because it probably gives you, you know, your skill 3 buffs or something. I'm gonna do that later. We're not gonna worry about that yet. I'll talk about that later. But at least with my original, you know, first impressions on this unit, I think she looks good and she's gonna be good, but she's not going to break any numbers. So she's not gonna break anything in the game. I think her skill 3 is gonna be fun, but you can only do it once every 32 seconds, which in this game is like once every, you know, once every many years, you know, because 32 seconds in like arena, never happening, right? She's gonna be dead before that even happens. And in PvE content, you want to do as much DPS as possible. So I'm still in the middle about this unit. I think she has some potential. I just don't think it's gonna be that crazy. I think she'll be fun, and I think she'll still be decent. And because of that, I do still think it's probably worth. I'm gonna be doing a couple of summons, but I don't think it's worth that many pulls, but we'll talk about it later on. I think she looks good, but not that crazy. I was hoping she would be better, honestly, but we'll have to wait and see. I think her animation of her skills is definitely going to be the deciding factor, really. Her skill 2, I'm not a fan of. Her skill 1 could be okay. I just think if they changed a few things in her kit, like her skills, and given her true dual wield, she could have been insanely good. But because of the fact that her skills don't look that crazy, her abilities, and her special only having 45 hits and nothing crazy on the DPS department, I don't think she's going to be that crazy of a unit. But we'll have to see. Let's have a look at the arc next. Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about the arc. Let's have a look at it now. So, when I read this arc, I wasn't super impressed, but let's just make sure we go over everything here, just in case I'm missing anything. So the traits, I don't know how to feel about the traits. Kind of underwhelming in a way. I don't think it's that great. So thunder damage 40% and damage cap plus 5,000 is good, right? Light resistance minus 10, but thunder and dark resistance plus 10. Doesn't matter too much. Damage taken minus 15% from enemies without the same type as this unit. Okay. And then during boss waves, skill and special damage cap plus 5,000. So here's the thing, right? This is supposed to be a very powerful trait because it doesn't have an arc skill. Well, I don't think it's very powerful. It doesn't seem that powerful to me. Like, I think the best thing about this trait is the fact that this can be used on dual wield damage dealers, but this is mostly for a dual wield thunder damage dealer. And how many units are dual wield thunder damage dealer units? Like, yeah, probably Sonic and the new Alice, but apart from that, not that many units can take the maximum boost from this, because you're not going to want this just for the 5,000 damage cap here, because if you're not a thunder damage dealer, then there's probably no reason to use this. So I don't really like this trait. It's not that good because it can only really be used on thunder damage dealers, and that's kind of it, right? Like it's kind of mid. I don't like this trait. It's not that crazy good, right? Like, yes, it's going to be good on the new Alice, but apart from that, not really anyone else. so I don't see much value in this trait. The learnable skills, twin wield boost. I don't know if we've had this learnable already. It's probably new. I don't think we have this learnable yet. This is 3 SC. When equipped with 2 weapons of the same type, physical damage 5%, which isn't that much, and damage cap plus 1000. Yeah, more of a worse version of Roland's Arc, which I don't have yet. I really want Roland's Arc, I really want it. I really want it, but I don't want to buy it with 10,000 pay crystals. I really want it. It's very good. Yeah. Twin World Boost is okay, but yeah, Ryu is kind of a forgotten unit because he wasn't that crazy. He's a Thunder dual wield damage dealer, but who even uses him nowadays? He's not that crazy. You've got better options, right? So yeah, I think she will be a fun unit. Now, back to this arc for a moment. Here's the one thing that I don't like about this arc. This skill. I don't like this skill because it's just a PvP skill, and I don't like it because it's going to change up the, it's going to it's going to fit itself into the meta of arena and guild battles, and I don't like that because it's on a UR arc. So fast ice resist. You know who is the hardest hitting damage dealer in the game currently for PvP that most people have? Zero, which is a nice damage dealer, and Leonardo's pretty strong too that some people have been using. They're both high damage dealers, which kind of sucks. So, battle start, given ice resistance plus 20 buff, which is crazy. It may not sound much by itself, but think about it. Units like Prefect of God Zero is an ice damage dealer, and now you can put this on tanks like Albedo and Melzer, and even just any unit that has an insane ice resistance. You can put this on those units and increase their ice resistance by even more. It's going to be crazy. Yeah, Roland's Arc is a very good one. Magic Weak Point Shield. This one's pretty nice if you don't already have it. When taking Attribute Weakness, Magic, damage taken minus 20%, it's pretty good. Thunder Critical Rays, probably never going to use it. Sounding Depths is a new one. It's interesting. Every 20 seconds from battle start, get a next special use damage plus 30% of damage cap plus 10,000 buff. It's not that much, right? It's not that crazy. But every 20 seconds. I mean, on the special damage dealers that have very high hit counts, like maybe Shift, Summon AL, or maybe you can use it on Alice, but I probably wouldn't because, special only has 45 hits. I mean, if you want maximum special damage boost, this could be good. In, like, raid bosses, this could be nice. And maybe some crests bosses if you're using a special damage dealer, but it's nothing that crazy. And then Thunder Attack Raise 3, Thunder Damage 30% damage cap plus 2000. So I think these skills are okay, but the main skill here being Fast Ice Resist for PvP. But apart from that, there isn't anything super crazy in here, right? The trait is kind of not that great. It's not that good. And the learnable skills are okay, but they're more for PvP. This one's for PvP, and this one is mostly for guild battles. Twin Word Boost can be for PvE, but it's not that crazy. Same thing with Sounding Depths, it's not that crazy. So, Thunder Attack Raise 3 could be okay. But 14 SC, I mean, maybe you can use it on your free skill slots if you have like plus 20 unit, but not that crazy. And then the Archive Rewards is an armor, has defense in mind, and strength. The stats are kind of bad, I'll be honest. Damage taken plus 10%, so you take more damage, but your dark physical attack and special damage is increased by 20%, and your damage cap is increased by 2,500, and your strength is increased by 10%. So if you don't have Roland's paid armor, this would be great for him, but if you do, or if you don't have Roland, Ascended Roland, then this isn't that crazy, because it's only for dark physical damage, and you take more damage, so I'm not a huge fan of this, because you take more damage, that's a negative thing, and it's also specifically dark physical damage, so not my favourite. And because I already have Ascended Roland's armor, I don't think I'm really going to ever use this. So this arc isn't that great. Definitely a skip, easily. If you get it, then great, because it's UR arc, it's nice to have, but you don't need it. And I don't really want it, honestly, because it doesn't have much that is that useful. You don't need this, just skip this one completely, you don't need it. If you're pulling on this banner, it's definitely for the units if you really want it. But you don't need to chase the unit or anything on this banner that much, because I don't think they're going to be anything super game changing, honestly. I think the arc is just okay, it's kind of average, right? For a UR arc, it could have been better. I still think that Ascended Roland's arc is way better, and I want this one. I want to get this one really badly, but I don't want to buy it with 10,000 paper crystals because it's expensive. But I'm still trying to get this, I just haven't managed to get it yet. Kind of sucks. But we still have Ascended Roland's banner available for another 2 weeks, and Demonplate Alice is available for another 28 days, so I think Ascended Roland's banner is better than Demonplate Alice's banner. But if you really want Alice, then it's up to you. I think she'll be good, just nothing crazy. I will be doing some summons later on, not yet, but all I'm going to be doing is hoping to get the unit very early, and then I'm not going to be doing that many summons, really. Well, if you get Roland, it's great, because Roland is one of the better damage dealers in the game right now. He's a very good unit. So if you manage to get Roland, he's very good. He's amazing. One of the better units for PvE content right now. So it's very good. And this arc is also very good. So it's just a very good banner. But do keep in mind, we get some more tickets in the login event very soon. I don't know how many, it's probably not that many, but probably wait until we get those tickets first. But if you do plan to summon on any banners right now, definitely Roland's banner is better one. You don't really need Alice unless you really like Alice and you think it's going to be fun, but you don't really need to pawn this banner unless you really want Alice, that's it. And then this Roland's banner is definitely better. But let's have a look at Alice's paid equipment next, because they look okay. I think her paids look okay, and then I suppose I'll have a look at some stuff in the trading space while I'm here as well. So her paid equipment, she has a machine and an accessory, kind of expected really. So Thunder Machine, obviously this one's going to be pretty good. Thunder damage 35%, that's pretty great. Damage cap plus 3000. Demonplate buff active, increase your strength by 10% and damage cap by 5000. So obviously this one's going to be a very good one for Alice, right? Because you're getting 35% thunder damage and you're getting 3000 damage cap all the time, right? Which is great. But when you have the Demonplate buff active, which is going to be, it's a permanent buff as long as you don't die, right? So at the start of the battle you get this buff permanently unless you die, and then you can get the buff back from using your special. So it's pretty easy to have that buff active. So because of that, I do think this trait is quite a strong one. It's a very good one. The damage cap for a dual wield unit is quite a lot. You get 5000 plus another 3000 damage cap. For a dual wield unit, pretty good. That's only skill damage. This is thunder damage. So that skill damage is only being on your skills. 10% strength, still going to be nice. So I do think it's a very nice machine. It's definitely going to be a best in slot machine weapon for sure. Do you really need it? You don't need it, but there are other options like Mecha Cannon Veldis. You can even use Trishla if you wanted to. What I would probably do is use her paid weapon plus Mecha Cannon Veldis if I wanted to reach her maximum potential, but if I didn't have this, I'd probably just use Mecha Cannon Veldis instead. Now, her paid accessory, I haven't really looked at this too much. Strength's pretty good, defense okay, thunder damage plus 20% is pretty nice for a accessory, so I like that. Damage taken minus 10% from all damage all the time, very nice. When hitting absolute weakness, damage cap plus 1500. This also gives 10 earth resistance and 5 fire resistance. Yeah, there is a Godforge machine as well, which is pretty nice, but Mecha Cannon Veldis is technically better for DPS because of the extra attack is very good. The extra attack, don't underestimate the power of an extra attack, it's so good in this game. And Mecha Cannon Veldis is probably one I would use instead of that Bolt Cannon. And Mecha Cannon Veldis is more accessible if you have it, it's on an SSR rock. I think this accessory is good, but I do think the machine is better than the accessory, and you don't really need this accessory. The 20% thunder damage is very nice. The damage cap isn't that much. The damage taken, minus 10%, isn't a big deal, but can be nice. So, yes, they are both very good. I just think the machine is the better one. I would rather select this one because she is a damage dealer, and this one is giving her the most boost, right? It's giving her the most damage cap and the most damage potential. So you could use this with Mecha Cannon Veldis or Trishula or something. It could be very good. That's what I would do, anyways. If I were to pick one, I would pick this one, but obviously you don't need any of them. But I would select the weapon. That's just me, though. The new Garland event, well, I found it pretty easy myself because I used Ascended Roland. If you don't have him, then either shift Adele or Shaltir, just more of those tanky PvE single wheel damage dealers are going to be pretty nice for that boss. If you have shift Adele, just use him, and then your support can either be La Breath or Spirit Maiden Sarah if you have either of those. Those two units, shift Adele and Spirit Maiden Sarah or La Breath, should be good enough. And then your third unit can be whatever you want, really. It doesn't really matter too much. Either another damage dealer or another support. I use Reese just because, why not? I like using her, and my team was pretty easy. I'll show you right now quickly. I used this team. It's very easy with this team. Ascended Roland is just a very good unit overall. Let's just have a quick look at the training space. I don't think there's anything crazy here. Obviously got the normal event, it's just normal stuff in here, nothing crazy. Right? Don't really need to mention anything there. Make sure to trade for these, because you've got another 6 days left. I've already traded for everything. I tried to farm this event as much as I could, because this event was very good. We do get a credential equipment trading space ticket today, which is nice. I'm not going to go through every single equipment here because there's way too many, right? There's way too many. But I'm just going to say some notable ones, being the top tier type units like Lilhar's staff is very good, and Telestio's accessory is very good. Those are the main two, I think. Obviously there's going to be more than that. Like, Arch being Melee's paid equipments are pretty good. I personally have her light axe weapon, I think, is pretty good. I highly recommend to have a look at your, newer units. Just look at the newest unit they have that it has their paid equipments in here. Like Lilhar and Telestio, those are the main two. If you don't have their paid equipments yet, make sure to get them, especially Telestio's accessory. Make sure to get it. Even if you don't have Telestio yet, you will manage to get him eventually, because he is in the permanent banner and he's still a top tier unit, so I would highly recommend to get his accessory if you can. And we do get 2 of these tickets, so you could get Telestio's accessory and Lilhar's staff, or her robe. I'm probably going to get, I've already traded for Telestio's accessory, I'm probably going to get Lilhar's robe as well. I think Labref's paid equipment are not that bad. Her robe's pretty decent, so you could get that one as well. And those are just some ones that I can think of at the top of my head. There's probably some other ones that are quite good, like Leodor's accessory is decent, but only if you feel like you're going to be using him as a damage dealer. Just have a look at those higher tier units that are available in here, and just select some of those. Some equipments like Shift Adele's sword requires 2 tickets. I don't think they're really worth it because they're quite expensive. And the rest of the trading space I did talk about in part 1, so I don't really need to cover those again. But yeah, that's pretty much everything here for the moment, I think. Not much else going on at the moment. So let's just go back to the banners right now. I do want to do a couple of summons, but I'm not going to be doing that many, I'll be honest. Because I would like Alice. I just don't need her that badly. I think she'll be fun. I would like to use her, but I don't need her that badly. So I'm still going to be doing a couple of summons to try and get the unit if I can, but I'm not going to go super hard like Roland's banner, because Roland banner was a very good banner. And I still really want to get the this arc right here, because this one's very good, but I'm still trying to be as patient as I can. It's just very hard because this arc is very good, you know. But I'll tell you what I'll do today is I'll do lap 1, we'll see what we get. If we don't get anything, I'll probably do some single pulls, try and get Demonplate Alice if we can, and then we'll see how it goes. So let's just start it off with lap 1. Probably won't get anything, but I would like to get Alice if possible. The thing is, I don't think I have enough materials to build her. If I did get her, then I don't think I have enough materials to build her today, right now, because I've been spending materials on some other units that I just got the other day. Like, I've managed to get Celestia and Leodor the other day, so I'm still trying to build those. So I have a lot of units that I need to build right now. I don't have a lot of materials. I'm going to be skipping most of these unless they look promising. This one, I might as well watch it, but I think it's going to go to the gold and stay there. 100%. Oh, there was a red. I didn't expect that, and it's an arc. Oh, damn it. I didn't want an arc. We don't want arcs. We don't care what the arcs are, because, you know, that's why. If it was the UR arc, that would be great, but I don't care about it, so the only thing I would even want from this banner is just the unit, right? 6 pulls in here, and then the free 10 pull, and we'll see what we get. If we don't get anything, I'm definitely going to do at least a couple of single pulls. Why is Tharia by herself? It could have been promising if Tharia wasn't by herself, right? Looking for units, and obviously Demonplate Alice is the main one that I really want today. But yeah, 3 animations and it still stays gold is surprising to me. Okay. Damn, I didn't think it was going to be Alice. I was kind of expecting it to be a I was expecting it to be an SSR arc or something that I don't have yet. But that's great. That's great. I managed to get the unit very quickly. Now I don't have to worry about it. Perfect. Now I can. You know what's funny is I still got another temple left. I've still got temple. It's very nice. But I did say I won't be able to fully build her today. I'm gonna try. I'm going to use a rainbow potion. I'll try to use her, because she does seem like she's going to be fun, so I'm happy about that. It's great stuff. But we will definitely mess around with her later today. But right now we have 1 free 10 pull. You never know, maybe we can get some Pandemonium arc. But it's not going to happen. Let's just get it over and done with. There's not going to be anything in here. I don't need anything from this banner now, because I've got the one thing I wanted, so it doesn't matter what's in here, really. Well, there's still some things I'm missing, but I'm not worried about it. Yeah, it's just going to be nothing in here, I bet. I still really want Ascended Roland's arc very badly. Yeah, no red in there, unless something goes up randomly like it did a moment ago, but it's not going to happen. Okay, well, weird. Does someone want a free Alice? I'll give it to you. I wish I could, but I can't, because I wish I could just give this to someone, because I don't need this dupe. Yeah, getting a unit very early is always a great thing, because then you don't have to worry about the banner at all. Go for Roland's banner? Well, you know I would, right? But you know I've done so many summons on this banner already, right? I've done so many summons on this banner already. And I've already got Roland. The only thing I want is the Ark. Yeah, I got one dupe of Roland. I'll tell you what, just for you, I'm going to do a couple singles. And if we get one red, I will leave it there. Because I really don't want to summon on this banner. I want to save crystals. I'm not going to be wasting crystals. Unless you provide me the crystals, that is. That's the only way. I'm just going to do a couple singles just for fun. And then we'll leave it there. I'm going to skip most of these unless they look as promising as not that one. That's terrible. Get one red, leave this banner alone. That's my plan. Stan, man. I still really want the Ark, but it's UR Ark, and you know what I say? Don't chase for UR Arks, because 0.4% is incredibly small chance. Yeah, just don't worry about the Ark too much. Try not to, because it looks very shiny. It looks so good because it's shiny and new, but don't worry about it. It's 0.4%. You're better off just getting a lottery ticket. You know, you're probably not going to get anything. It's just the most likely thing. I'll get one red, and then I'll leave this banner. Because I can't be wasting crystals like this. I'm only doing this because you wanted me to. I didn't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I do want the Ark though. Because it did make me realise the other day how expensive things are in this game. Oh my god! What? What the hell? Wow, streamer luck today is real. I can't believe that. Jesus. Taking off headset as well. Wow. I suppose today's my day. Yeah, you're free to get mad. I would be mad too if it was me. I would be mad too. I would be mad. Well, thank you for telling me to summon, I suppose. Because otherwise I would have not done this. But I still have to I still have to tell you, don't gamble, okay? Just because no, don't be tempted. I swear I be as truthful as I can. You know this. I'm like the most truthful person in this game. I don't get tempted. If I was one of those people that just wanted to, you know, blindly support the game, I would tell you to waste your money. But I'm saying, don't worry about it. Maybe do a couple of singles if you really feel like it like this, but don't worry about it too much. I'm super excited about this. You know why? This trait is quite strong, and it's a pretty good arc in general. I talked about it in part 1, so I don't need to talk about everything regarding this arc. I just wanted to point out that this arc is definitely one of the better UR arcs. This one, the Demo Judge Wedge, very good. And even the trait is very good. Arcade Reward is okay. I'm excited about that. You know, now I can't wait to have some fun with this. So let me leave it there for today. The summons. I'm not going to be pulling it anymore. I really didn't expect to get that. Yeah, I'm happy for once. You know, my part 1 luck was terrible. It was terrible. Part 1 luck was terrible. I don't want Pandemonium. I really don't want it. I'm not pulling for it. You know, if I was that person that... If I really wanted that arc, I would at least do a couple more singles for it, but I don't want it, because I just simply don't need it. I did manage to get Cyber Slayer Alice the other day, so I've been trying to teach her some skills. I will build her in a moment if I can, but I don't think I have enough materials. I'll tell you why. This is the problem. I don't have enough. And trust me, I've been farming. I've been trying to get these materials. It's just very hard. As a newer player, I realise then it's definitely more difficult to get materials. So let's switch over to Steam version real quick, and I will start focusing a bit more on Alice. I do want to showcase her and try her out, because I think that'll be fun, because she seems like she'll be a fun unit to mess around with her skill 3. She can definitely do some funny stuff for sure. There we go. Right. So, what do I want to start off with? Well, actually, you know what I can do? I can do this. I can use one of these, because I did have one of those from the event that we just had, so there we go. Perfect. Love that. Right. So, let's have a look at Alice first. I do want to start showcasing her right now. I've been trying to build Celestio, as you can see. This is a problem. This is the problem I'm having. I can't get enough materials. The same thing with Leonardo. No, wait a minute. Leodor. Still need to build him as well. I've been working on that. But let's get Alice real quick. I do want to build her as much as I can. I'm going to use a rainbow potion. I won't be able to get most of her skills though, because I don't have any crystals to unlock them. But it's fine. I could get a paid machine, but I'm not going to worry about that today. Oh, damn it. It requires more of these stupid sharp fangs. Why can't I get these sharp fangs anywhere? Why are these so hard to get? Why do I only have 3? Celestio. Is Celestio good? Of course. Like, he's one of the best units right now in the game. He's a permanent unit, yeah, but he's one of the best units. He's one of the best units. I can't say that enough. He's one of the best units. If you get him, don't just say, oh, he's a permanent unit, he's trash. No. He's amazing. He's like a Descent of Heroes unit. Top tier unit. Trust me. I'll tell you why. EX Drain. This is currently the only unit in the game that has EX Drain. Even this is useful for 10,000 damage cap on any ally once per wave. And even his traits. This circle, even more debuff, which stacks with a minus 50%. You know why it's crazy? Bosses nowadays have insane stats, insane defense, right? And you struggle to pierce their defense. Well, Celestio is your answer, because he has this magic theory debuff and this circle thing. If the enemy's in the circle, minus 20 to all stats, plus this minus 50. Hell of a lot. Crazy. Yeah, getting unit to 120 and max borders, it takes some time. You definitely need to farm the events consistently to be able to build multiple units to level 120. I haven't had that much of an issue because I have, you know, a decent amount of units to level 120, but there's still more that I need to build, like, you know, the units I just showed you, Celestio, Leodor, and now the new Alice. But I need those sharp fangs. So while we're here, let's quickly try and learn as many skills as possible. What's her ward? 1% physical damage is okay. It's fine. I do like more damage, but I won't be able to unlock everything here, which is usually I would be able to. Now, there's probably something that many people would say, do I regret selling my other account? The answer is no, because I find this a lot more fun. I basically completed the entire game in my other account, so I wasn't enjoying it. But this, I actually have something to do. I like this. And actually being smart with my crystals and not just pitching every single thing. Enjoying this a lot more. So she's only at 81, which kind of sucks. I need more materials, which I can't currently get, so I might be able to get some from the events really quickly and try and get her to 108 skills, and then I'll be able to test her in story stages. I'm going to try and do that. So then I can showcase her in the story as well as the unit test play quest to kind of give a idea of how she performs there. Let's have a look. Let me try and unlock some more skills, and then we'll showcase her afterwards, if possible. I've been completing these events, getting every single thing possible from these events in the trading space, because I just need everything. So I'm just going to trade for some of these and get a few more skills. Hopefully we'll be able to get enough. I think that's fine for now. I could go to the alchemy lab and get some more. Okay, that's fine. That's everything, I think, yeah, for now. I can't get her 5th Enhance, which kind of sucks, because 5th Enhance does have some good stuff in it. Because I need some stupid sharp fangs, which I struggle to get. I'm going to be farming these over the next 2 weeks, because I really need them. I need a lot of those fangs. And probably her 6th Enhance is going to require 50 more, which is going to mean I need like over 100 of those fangs. I got one of these prisms from the event, I believe. Yeah, event trading space prism. Let's put on some equipment. She can only equip swords, spears, machines, and claws. Okay. Armors and clothes. Okay. Obviously you're going to want a machine. Do I have Mecha Cannon Veldis yet? No, I didn't get that one yet. I should get that one. I know I have the arc somewhere. I definitely have it. I know I have it. There it is. So this arc, if you've got it, make sure to get this, because this Mecha Cannon Veldis machine is very good. I sold my account about a couple months ago because I was tired of trying to keep up with the PvP meta and I wasn't enjoying it. It was either I was going to quit or start a new account, and I decided to sell it and start a new account and continue doing these streams and stuff on this game, because I still find this game fun. It's still a great game. It's just the account, that end game account, after playing for many years, felt like I completed everything and I just wasn't enjoying PvP and I didn't want to worry about it. So I wanted to allow someone else to buy it, because maybe they could get some use from it. I just wanted money. I'll be honest. That's the only reason why I wanted to sell it, because I wanted the money back. And then I could have some fun with this instead, which is definitely a good idea on my part. I thought it was a good idea. Which it was. So, equipment, yeah, that's what I was just doing. Mecha Cannon Veldis, I'm going to be using this one. You could also use Trishula as well. Let me have a look at thunder weapons first. Do I have any thunder weapons that... No, I don't. Okay, well, there's definitely more thunder weapons than what I have. There's more thunder weapons in the game, but I apparently don't have many, so I'm probably just going to have to use Mecha Cannon Veldis for the moment. And then the other weapon could be... It doesn't really matter what the other weapon is. You can go with Muramasa, or like Trishula would be nice. You can go with anything really. She can single wield in PvP technically, because she doesn't have that many dual wield focus skills, but obviously in PvE you're definitely going to want dual wield for sure. Yeah, I'm in Sassy Cat. I've been in there since the beginning. I might as well use a sword for the moment, right? Muramasa's fine. That is on Roland currently, but I suppose I can just put it back later. I'm just going to use those two for the moment. Ideally, you would want 2 thunder weapons, because... Does she have Goddess Kiss? No. Yeah, I'll check that after the stream. For sure. Goddess Kiss on Alice has always been a very good skill to have because she has these skills up here which require MP. So MP on this unit is more important than a normal unit, than a normal physical damage dealer, because she can actually use her MP for, you know, useful stuff here. So I would recommend, if you can, to try and have 2 thunder weapons and then put on Goddess Kiss, and then that will allow you to get MP back quite easily from, you know, normal attacks. Yeah, let's have a look at accessories next. I do have some crests. You can see I've been farming these. I'll show you what I have with these in a moment, but let's have a look at accessories first. Accessories, obviously, she equips a machine, and she's a thunder damage dealer. You could technically equip a sword if you want to as well, so you do have some options, I suppose, like Mithril Relief is an easy one. She doesn't really need movement speed, but it can help if you're using your skill 1, because then you can quickly run away again if you want to. This one's nice because it boosts damage based on distance. I'm probably gonna just use Mithril Relief because it's an easy one to use. There is a URR key for reward that I don't have yet, which it gives thunder damage by 10% and minus 5% physical damage taken. I don't know how I remember this stuff, but I do. I don't know why my memory is such good with games in particular. Only games, nothing else. It's funny. 3 Jeweled Amulet could be nice. Compass could be nice. Yeah, you could use Gilbert in the team, that could be nice. 4 Imperial Kings, yeah, that's the one I was thinking of, which I don't have yet. I might as well have a look, just to show it, just to show what it is. I'm working on getting it, it's going to happen soon. Thunder damage, this one's pretty damn good because it gives you 10% thunder damage and some pretty high strength. It's a very good accessory, so if you do have this arc, then I think this accessory would be quite a good one for Demonplate Alice for sure. So I'm probably gonna get this when I can, start farming some Archiver, you know, in the story and stuff, and try and get this as soon as I can, and put this on Alice, I think, because that would be pretty good. Because it's thunder attack damage means it's going to apply to all of her thunder damage, so that's going to be nice. Spending crystal to the event quicker? No way. Definitely don't, because that's only for whales, and even whales, even when I was whaling super hard, it's not even worth doing, right? It's just as a waste. Just have patience. You do get enough orb recoveries from just playing the game. Don't worry about it. This game does take time to build up a solid account, and I wouldn't worry about it too much, because the more stuff you have to do, the better. Because then you're not complaining about, I don't have anything to do, I've completed everything. Then you don't have that problem. Let's just equip some accessory. I want to equip something that just gives some damage, so I think I'm just going to use Compass for now. It's not the best, but it's something. And I do have some crests. Yeah, she does look pretty cool. I'm going to be trying her out in a moment. I'm just equipping her with some equipment first of all, and then we'll try her out in the story, just to see what her damage is like there, and then we'll have a look at the unit test play quest. I've been farming the bird a lot. I've been using all of my tries on the bird, and I have managed to get 2 UR crests, well, 2 UR crests. This one gives sword boost. This one is pretty nice, gives dark damage. Do I have anything for Alice in particular though? Not really. I mean, technically machine boost could be something, so I mean, that's better than nothing. I do really like these two. These are nice. Curse resistance. This one's amazing for Velvet, by the way, against the bird. It's just funny. Bird damage. This one's for my Prefect of God Zero. It's pretty strong. I like this. But for now, I'm just going to put on this one, even though it's not great, but it's better than nothing. 5% more damage, sure, why not? And some strength. It's whatever. I'm still working on getting more crests, but I have some solid ones already. Now her strength at 3,000. Nice. Let's awaken her as much as we can, and then we'll go in the story, try her out, I don't think she's going to do that much damage because she's only 4th enhanced, and usually I would test them out 5th enhanced, but I don't have the stupid sharp fangs for whatever reason. They seem to be hard to get for me. And it seems like most of my units right now require sharp fangs. It's annoying. So currently full burst is set, so this will change the special to 1 enemy. Yeah, she does look cool. I think she'll be fun, but will she be super meta unit? I don't think so, no. But I think she'll be fun, and fun is what matters the most, because if you're not having fun, then what you doing? Okay, let's just try her out with this build. It's not a build, it's just base skills only. This equipment looks fine. Not the best build. Definitely could do with some adjustments for sure, but it's not perfect. I'm just going to be using it for just testing purposes. I might as well check quickly if there's any sharp fangs in the event trading space, because I didn't actually check that. I don't have any materials left. Anyways. No. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to farm those later. Let's just try her out. So, let's just go in the normal stage that we always do. I did finish off the most recent story in Demonian. Might as well just show you the map if you're curious. I finished all this stuff. It's pretty fun. It was pretty fun. Yeah, Bayonetta. I believe that's on the 30th, isn't it? That's pretty soon. Yeah, that's pretty soon. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing. If that's, I really need to check when that date is, but I believe that was on the 30th of April, if I remember. And if it is, that'll be next week, which I'll probably do a video on it instead of a stream, because doing a stream just for that, yeah, it's Redux April 30th it is. So I'll probably do a video on that instead of a typical live stream, because it's not going to be any new unit or anything to cover, it's just going to be a Redux, so I'll probably do that. Leonardo for a new account, well, I'll be honest, any new unit for a new account is going to be very strong. When I started this account a couple of months ago, Leonardo was the most recent damage dealer, and I managed to get him, and he carried me for most of the story, pretty much all of it. So yes, Leonardo is a pretty good damage dealer for a new account, but should you pull specifically to get him, it's up to you. I think he's good because his anima's pretty damn strong, and he does have that minus ice resistance debuff, so he's a pretty useful unit, but not worth putting on for super hard. Let's try out Alice now. I suppose, doesn't matter which arc I use, well, not really. It's funny I'm still missing Solaris down here. Yeah, A. Roland is definitely going to be better than Leonardo for PvE for sure, and if you were to reroll for one of those units, definitely Roland. Your number one reroll unit is going to be Ascended Roland right now. Let's just go with this and see what it's like. And then I'll go in the unit test play quest and have a look. So I'm just going to be using her skills, see how much damage we're looking at with a terrible build, with 4th enhanced, no skills whatsoever. Should be doing like hardly any damage at all. The good thing is, you know what I'm going to do? This is going to be fun. Watch this. I'm going to use this, and I'm going to use this, and wait for it. I want the boss to come over here, and I'm going to use this. Now, when I press this skill 3, prepare your eyes, and potentially your ears, because it's going to be one heck of an animation, because I just used the buff, it's a level 4 buff. Yeah, it is fun. Obviously it doesn't do that much yet, because that was a level 4 buff, it was supposed to do more, but she is hardly built right now. So Yeah. And that was close range too. You know... Yeah, her skills are weird. Especially Sidewinder's gonna be the weirdest one for sure. But you know what I'm thinking now is technically her skill 1 can be used for utility, for getting away from the enemy. Technically, even though it's a close a gap skill, you can technically use it for getting away from the enemy. I'll show you that. I'll make all the enemies group together. I'll wait for them to be grouped. Might as well use this again. I'll wait for them to be in one slot. One spot. And then I'll use a skill 1 and then a skill 3 instantly. Right, so skill 1, all the enemies are right in her face right now. I'm going to use a skill 1, and then she should get some distance from the enemies. See, now she's a bit further back. Right? I still think it's cool. Let me try this one more time, then I'll go in the unit test play quest to get a, you know, test it out a bit better. But, I think her skill 1 isn't going to be as bad as I thought it would be, because it can be used for... Actually, there is some more tests I could do with this. With a full team and stuff. Because you can use a skill 1. If an enemy is right up against your face, you can use a skill 1, and it does get you further away from the enemy. Let's not use that this time, and I'll show you the difference. Yeah, you see the difference? Not that great. This spamming skill 1 is just going to be funny. Because you could do this. I'm over here now, I'm over here now, I'm over here. Yeah. Okay, let's go in the unit test play quest next. I think, I don't think she'll be that bad. I think she'll be good. A skill 1, on paper, it sounds worse than it actually is, right? Because in practice, it's not really a super close the gap skill, it's more of a attack around the enemy, get away from me type skill, sometimes. Let's try her out in here now. I want to do most of my testing in here, and I'll probably come back to test her in the story with a full team right here, I think. I'll do that soon, and I haven't even used a special yet. So in the unit test play quest, she has obviously 6 enhanced all of her skills. Her strength looks pretty high, 4,700 is pretty good. Obviously paid equipment, mithril sword, not the best. Could have been obviously could have been Mecha Cannon Veldis or something. Would have been better. She does have the full burst skill set, which does mean her special is going to be single target and have more damage cap. So let's try her out in here. Obviously she's got paid, she's got her UR arc, which gives more thunder damage and damage cap, and even more damage cap. So she's getting plus 10,000 damage cap from this, which is nice. So you do have to remember, even though this is base skills, they're trying to make her look as good as possible. So they have her paid equipment for even more damage cap, and the UR arc for plus 10,000 damage cap. So she does have some nice damage cap in here. So let's try her skills out one by one first of all. So one thing that is quite important is her normal attack is long range. and it's quite nice. It's not super spammable, but it's going to be a pretty damn good normal attack for Goddess Kiss and getting back MP. So I am a fan of that because she does have Maglion and some damage based on distance. So her normal attack is going to be pretty good. And skill 1, you can use it anywhere. It does like switch around. It's a bit weird, but you can see there's still some distance between her and the enemy. So this does increase her damage because she's got Maglion and she's got the skills that increase her damage cap and crit rate based on distance. This is enough distance to give her some increase. If you look at damage caps right now, I don't know if she's hitting damage caps fully, she might be. But if I go right up here, interesting. So if you are right on top of the enemy, she does teleport backwards. So she does get some distance. That's the main utility I can think of with her skill 1, is if the enemy is too close to you, then you can use it to get some distance and then like run away or something, right? That's the main utility I can see from her skill 1. But obviously, if you're already long range, like already far back over here, then obviously using her skill 1 from here is going to be a negative thing because now you're closer and you're going to be doing less damage. So just something to think about. Now her skill 2, I'm not the biggest fan of her skill 2. Now you'll see why. Let's just do it over here so we can see it first properly. So Petrobinds. The actual hits themselves are pretty fast, but look at the delay when I press this button right now and when the hits actually start going off. There's quite a bit of a delay, and I don't like delays because, you know, if I were to spam it, there's still a delay, but it's even worse when I use a skill 1 and then a skill 2, it's even worse. But let's finish off with a giant laser. That's crazy. But let's try this a few more times because I do want to get a better feel of her kit in here. So we'll do a bit more testing in here. I did do some testing earlier. If you use her skill 1 and then skill 2, it doesn't feel very good to me. Because use skill 1 and then spam this button, you lose your hit, you lose your combo instantly. Is it even possible to keep up your combo by doing this? I don't think it is. That's what really annoys me. Is it's so slow that it can't even keep the combo, right? That's what. Obviously, if you're spamming it really fast, you can keep up the combo. Sometimes. It's just the delay of the skill 2 is way too slow. That's my biggest negative thing about skill 2. The actual hits themselves are fine. It's just the delay at the beginning really ruins it, and it does not smoothly transition, you know. Her skill 1 into a skill 2 just feels terrible because the delay between when her skill 1 finishes and when she starts using her skill 2 and actually starts hitting the enemy, very long. And what you want for a physical damage dealer is you want them to be outputting as many hits as possible, as fast as possible. That's the main point of a physical damage dealer. So, having some sort of a delay, and she only has one skill stock of her skill 3, by the way, which kind of sucks. So getting skill 3 back isn't going to happen that much. Kind of like Telestio's skill 3, you're going to use it once in a while, unless you're using Aragami or other arcs like Council of 10 to give you another skill stock. Her skill 3 is definitely her best skill, 100%, and that is why her trait 2 is boosting her skill 3 by as much as possible with her buffs. It's very quick. It's going to be a very good skill to spam, for sure. But you can't spam it, because you only have one available. The damage caps on this, by the way, pretty damn high. So if the enemy's up against a wall, then the distance is even lower. Even shorter. Let's use a special just to see what it's like. Actually, I'm going to see what the damage cap on this is first and calculate the special damage. 3399. So you can see that damage cap's quite high. 339,000. Well, basically 340,000. Times by 45 is 15 mil. Well, 15.3 million damage on a special against a single target boss. It's not the best, but it's not terrible either. So I think it's okay. I think a special might be able to do some damage against single target bosses, but it's not going to be anything ridiculously good. Because 15.3 mil, you know, a physical damage dealer can do that in like 10 seconds anyway. So now let's actually show this level 4 ether condensation buff. I did use this already, but just to kind of show this a bit more, you can use this only once every 40 seconds, right? You can use this, and then you can see she's got the ether condensation level 4 buff, right? And then when you use your skill 3, which I'm going to do at long range, so full maximum damage, you can see the damage caps, insanely high, and it's 60 hits, but it does consume the buff completely, so now she has to get those buffs back from 0. So you've got to wait, every 8 seconds you're going to get 1 level, so then you wait another 8 seconds. I'm going to see what a level 3 looks like. There's a level 2. And then at level 3. Right about now. See the difference. Still looks pretty good. Obviously the damage cap's less and less hit counts. Obviously if you're waiting, you're definitely going to want to try to wait for that level 4 buff for the maximum boost, because you do get quite a big boost. Now let's try level 2 just to see what that looks like, and then level 1 isn't really going to be that much. Level 2, yeah, now you can see it's getting weaker now, and then level 1 will be that, and then level 0, that's what it normally looks like. So it's interesting, and skill 3 is definitely very good, and it's going to be quite good, but obviously you can only do it once every 32 seconds, but technically you can do it twice every 40 seconds, because you've got the first one at 32 seconds, and then you've got second one after 40 seconds when you cast the spell to give you level 4 buff. So let's do this one more time, and then I suppose we'll leave it there, and then we'll showcase her one more time in the story with a full team, just to kind of see what damage is looking like. I do kind of want to spam her skills to see what they're like. Skill 1's pretty fast if you spam it. Skill 2, we've already done that. It's not my favourite because the delay, it can easily lose the combo, which is what you don't want. At long range, it's okay. The damage caps, I haven't mentioned the damage caps yet, but the damage caps, you can see 138,000 dual wield is pretty nice. But you do have to remember she has the UR and her paid weapon, which does increase her damage cap by like 18,000 more than her base damage cap, I think. $238. So let me do some more math. 238,000, then you times it by 60, that's going to be 14.2 million damage, which is crazy, right, for a skill 3. But Basically what they've done is they made her skill 3 buffs kind of seem like a mini special skill, if you think of it like that, because you can't spam the level 4 buff on her skill 3 because it consumes it and you can only get the buffs back every 8 seconds, or with this. So they are trying to limit how often you can do the level 4 buff, but level 4 is technically like another special, if you think of it like that. So every 32 seconds and every 40 seconds you're going to get basically one special worth skill, but it doesn't stop the time, but it is very fast. I do think it's nice. I'll do this one more time to look at her special and everything again, and then we'll go into the story stages one more time, and then we'll leave it there, I suppose, for today. That was a level 1 buff, it still gave like 30,000 damage cap. Yeah, it's decent. It's decent. And this will kill. I just wish she had true dual wield, because imagine if that was 90 hits, it would have been insane, right? But I think what might have been cool, or maybe it was too much to ask, is if there was like a visual change for each level buff that she got. That would have been cool. But she does get a visual change for each level when she uses her skill 3, so I suppose it's asking for too much. Because instead of having to look at the buff icons, you can look at the unit, and then that will tell you at what level you're at for your buff. That would be cool. So one more thing that I want to do before we finish up with Demonplate Alice is I do want to try a full team, just to, you know, mess around with a full team. This won't be as good as the unit test play quest, because that had her at maximum potential with her base skills and all of her paid equipments and stuff. But I at least want to see what the damage can look like with just base skills, level 100, with a full team, because then the supportive buffs are going to help out. So let's see. I'm definitely going to be putting on Theopolis. I actually want to try out her special as well, so I will put on Great War of Ruin. She's a thunder damage dealer, so technically you could use Gilbert for his charisma. Well, I'll be honest, 36,000 for her and the arc is very good for sure. Even though it may sound like, or may feel like a lot, it's still pretty damn good. What arc should I use? Something that just increases physical damage by as much as possible. Probably Soul Blade then. I don't have Human Slayer, so her damage isn't going to be that crazy. That's Claws. Save them for Lilahar, yeah. I have no idea what shift Lilahar's going to bring, but I really doubt that it's going to be as good as her base form. Like, there's a chance that her shift form ends up being worse than her base form. There's a chance. But I don't know, because we don't even know her kit yet. I think I'll try this. I think this is fine. Actually, you know what's better than that? Easiest option.
Allow me.
I love these two units together. These two units together, just my favourite thing right now. Reese plus Spirit Maiden Sarah, my favourite thing in this game. Because she gives 30% damage to everyone and damage caps, it's amazing. My favourite combination. Love it. Yeah, well, you know what everyone calls her? You know what everyone calls Shift Lilihar? Lollyhar, because she looks so small. Now, I'm just gonna wait until they actually release Sprite and everything, because leaks, don't talk about those. Just saying what other people have said. They said Lollyhar. I think that's funny, but obviously the sprite is definitely going to look better once it's actually released. Let's try her out again with this full team, because this should be interesting. Well, I'll talk about my conclusion and stuff a bit later on. So far she seems pretty good, but obviously mine isn't built yet. I still have like negative things. There's still negative things about this unit, like her skill 2 being like just the delay with her skill 2 is just not. I hate the delay. I hate it. And I do wish she was a bit better, but she's not going to be bad. She's going to be good no matter what. Yeah, I have thought about doing more videos and stuff. I just haven't gotten around to it. And I do definitely want to do some videos. I just haven't had the motivation to do any of those yet. And I've never really been one for doing that. I've mostly been doing these live streams are the main thing that I do. Only thing I can recommend right now, if you're using Shift Del, just make sure to use debuffs and buffs and everything as much as possible. That's really all I can recommend with that. Let's use Honey Elixir. I should have used Theophilus last, actually. Yeah, I'm just going to use her normal skills first. Yeah, that's not bad. Well, I'm going to do that again, but with a skill 3 this time. Soul Blade. And now, use Theophilus, and then I'll use her. Actually, wait. Go far away, and then use Theophilus, and then I'll use a skill 3. It should kill everything super easily because they're already almost dead, and I don't know why. Yep. It's not even damage cap, but yeah, it is a big negative with the unit. The fact that the buff goes away. If the buff stayed, though, it would have been stupidly broken. Think about it. If you could spam her skill 3 with a level 4 buff constantly, it would be incredibly top tier DPS broken, right? I'm going to try using her special this time. I don't think it's going to do very much. I actually want to remove her full burst skill to do that. Yeah, if there was a couple of changes, she could have been stupidly broken, but they tried to balance it, and I do understand that. I just feel like some of the changes aren't my favourite. I just wish it could have been done a bit better. Yeah, spamming her laser would have been awesome. So this will hit all the enemies this time. I don't think it's going to do very much, because to build special damage you need a lot more than this, and it usually never does very much. Well, it's better than I expected. Yeah, 32 seconds is kind of long, but also add in the 40 seconds as well. So every 32 seconds and every 40 seconds you can get a buff. That's 2 buffs every 40 seconds. Well, 2 level 4 buffs every 40 seconds. I think people are gonna still try and compare her to Sholtir and say which one's better, is this the best DPS, blah blah. Well, Sholtir is gonna stay at the top for quite a long time, because she was a special case where she was incredibly good because of her double hit counts with her special and having incredibly high, incredibly fast skills, right? So we're not going to get a unit like that for a very long time. Ascended Roland is close, not quite there, but he's very close, and he's better than everyone else, just not Sholtir. So yeah, no one's gonna beat Sholtir I feel like. So here's my prediction. While I talk about this, I might as well do this one more time. I said this before, but what I think they're going to be doing is Sholtir is going to stay at the top tier of DPS for the foreseeable future, for like quite a long time. That's what I think they're going to do. But what I think they will do is they will start releasing more units similar to Sholtir's level, which we are seeing now with Ascended Roland. He is similar to Sholtir's level. He's not on the same level, but he's similar, and he can compete with Sholtir when Sholtir doesn't have her Enheightnar buff, or whatever it's called. So we are starting to see more units that can somewhat compete with Sholtir, but not as high as Sholtir, you know. So I do think there's going to be more units that they're going to release that are going to be Sholtir, close to Sholtir level, just not as good. I think I've done enough testing with Alice now to kind of have an idea of what she's going to be like. So I do want to do my conclusion and stuff in a moment. Shift Lilahar looks like she's going to be a physical damage dealer, which does... No, I'm not... I'll be honest. I'm not super excited about Shift Lilahar because I like mages. And if they make Shift Lilahar a physical damage dealer, then when are you going to use her, is my question. Because the first form of Lilahar is a mage, and one of the best mages in the game. So I find it hard to believe that a Shift Lilahar, being a physical damage dealer, could even compete to a mage. Because I still feel like the original form of Lilahar is going to be used a lot more if the Shift form ends up being a physical damage dealer. Yeah, if she had more skill 3 stocks, it would have been great, but there are ways that you can increase it, like Council of 10 being the main one, and Purple Orb, if you have it. I'm hoping Devil May Cry gets a rerun very soon, but I doubt it. We'll see. We'll have to wait and see. But Purple Orb is another way to get another skill stock, and there are probably some other arcs to get another skill stock as well. Yeah, there's no decent mage that can compete with Lilahar. We do need a mage that's on Lilahar's level. We do have Palomena, but obviously she's not Lilahar level, but she is good in PvE. It's just in arena and guild battles, she's not very good. Lilahar is still the best one in PvP, and some people might be thinking, when is the next PvP mage going to come out? Because it's been a long time, and Lilahar is still the best one for PvP that everyone uses, which is fine. It should be like that, because Lilahar is a goddess that doesn't release very often. Like, when Logzaeus came out, he was the best unit in the game. He was a 10 out of 10 on the tier list when he came out, just like Lilahar probably was. I don't remember, but maybe not. But when Logzaeus came out, he was stupidly broken for quite a few months, and then start getting power crept. But Lillihar's a different story because she's a mage. Yeah, Shift Lenius. There should be a Shift Lenius coming out in a few months. I am going to be saving for that actually, because I think Shift Lenius could be pretty good. If he's any similar to the original form of Lenius and has a lot of damage, he could be a better Lilihar, or at least, you know, better in some way, like DPS wise, he could be better. He's probably going to have double hit counts and have higher damage caps and that kind of stuff, and stackable magic spells. He could be pretty good, so if you're looking into a mage like that, definitely try and save something for that, because it could be pretty solid, but we don't know. I don't look at leaks, I never do. I like looking at artwork, but I don't look at leaks. Wait until they release, and then cover it at that time, and just wait and see when things come out. So I think that's everything I wanted to do today. I might as well show you what I've been doing in here. So I'm on difficulty 227 right now with this team. I want to change melee with Telestio, because I feel like Telestio is going to be more useful, and then maybe make him just a stun unit, normal attacks with Cactus Hammer. Could work quite nicely. And then I've focused on as much damage and strength as possible, because strength is pretty important in these stages, because the enemies have incredibly high stats. So things like Power Counter. Power Counter is a very good skill if you have it for Ascended Roland in like these types of stages, very good. I've done these stages already, so what I did do, I might as well talk about it a little bit. I used this team. It was very easy for me. I managed to clear it in 2 minutes. Ascended Roland just clears it super easily. If you have him, just use him. He should be able to clear it, no problem. But if you don't have him, you don't need him, because there are going to be other options like Shift Adele, because Shift Adele can be pretty good as well. But my recommendation is increase your damage as much as possible. You don't really need the damage caps that badly. I think you're better off increasing damage, so like drive skills and strength, like Pride 1, all of the drive skills, maybe all the weapon boost skills, giant killing skills pretty good as well. Maybe even like Berserker and Braver, if you have those types of things, could be pretty nice. If you don't have Spirit Maiden Sarah, then obviously there are alternatives. Like, I'm hoping if you don't have Spirit Maiden Sarah, then I'm hoping that you have Advocate of God Labyrinth instead, because she'll be your second best choice for sure. So she will definitely be your second best choice, and you can just make her use Poem of the Star Readers or something. She'll be very good. So I would highly recommend to go for Labyrinth with a damage dealer like Shift Adele, and then your last unit, I mean, it doesn't matter too much what your last unit is. Either a support, like I put Reese in just because she's a support, she gives more damage to your team. That's the only reason why I put her in. You don't need her. Like, I could have just went with 2 units and would have been fine. But you could put in like Lilihar, maybe, or you can put in. I feel like you probably need more damage. If you have Telestio, he might be good as well as a support, because of his EX Drain, that helps, and you can even use this damage cap buff on your main damage dealer, like Shift Adele. So, well, equipment and builds, I don't really go super in-depth for. All I can really recommend is just go for as much damage as possible, and go for Slayers. The boss is a god type, I believe, So just make sure to bring the necessary slayers, make sure to bring maximum damage boost on your main damage dealer, and if you're not using Spirit Maiden Sarah and you're using Labref, then you probably need another support in there that can boost your one main physical damage dealer as much as possible. So you can probably use like Lilahar, has a good charisma which increases damage and damage cap, and maybe Telestio. Those types of units can be pretty good. So you do have options, and if it's not working, just make sure your build is built fully, and by that I mean full damage. Full damage on your main damage dealer as much as possible. Just go full damage. You don't really need the caps, because reaching the caps is more important first of all, and then give your support as much mitigation and heat and SCT regen as possible, and debuffs and MP. MP is very important. All of the MP up skills and all of the mitigation if you can, and debuffs like high drains, great. And I assume the boss, because it's Garland, right? Because it's Garland in that stage, I assume the boss, I don't have Garland, but I know Garland is a fire unit in game, so I can assume that the boss is probably using fire attacks. So because of that, is there any tips or anything on here? Event overview, it doesn't give you any tips. It just says your face Garland. That's all it says. It doesn't give you any like tips or anything in the stage. Kind of sucks. Usually they give you some hints. So because he's a fire unit in the game, if you bring the walls, I think it's earth wall or something, or ice wall, then you'll take less damage from fire attacks. That will definitely help out a lot, for sure. Just bring all of the supportive buffs, all of the debuffs, and your main damage dealer with as much damage as possible, and support with, you know, all the stuff, and it should be fine. I don't think it's going to be that hard, as long as your support survives and can revive and keep your main damage dealer alive, and you've got all the debuffs and buffs. I think it should be fine. But you do have to have a, you know, properly built unit to make that work, of course. And you could use like debuffs like Blazer and stuff if you're surviving. If you're having trouble surviving, then things like High Blazer is going to help out. Weak and the circles can help, but obviously if you're using Shifted Del, you don't really need the circles, because that's reducing one element resistance, and obviously Shifted Del has multiple, so that's less useful, but weak still helps. Ice Wall is less fire damage. So you have options. That's really all I can recommend for this stage. I didn't find it that hard. If you want, I can just do it right now. And then we'll finish off the stream in a moment after I've done this. Yeah, I see I'm not hitting damage cap right now, so you definitely need maximum damage. For sure, you don't need damage cap, because he is a tank after all. In the game, he is a tank, so you're gonna need all of the damage. Oh yeah, I forgot, I'm not using a sword, I'm stupid. Because I put it on Alice instead. Yeah, that's why. I would explain a lot, wouldn't it? Uh-huh. Which is great. I'm just going to do this quickly, and then we'll finish off in a moment. But this is what I was using. I didn't really build specifically for this stage, I just went with my best units, and went in, and it was easy. But that's because I do have, you know, top tier units that I have fully built, so that is kind of different. It's not everyone's going to have the same results. Here we go, now I'm hitting damage cap, you can see good numbers. Roland is just way too good, I'll admit. He's so good. See, that's the first one down, as easy as that. Obviously it's going to be different if you don't have this exact team, but and I know he does do a ult attack, which does a hell of a lot of damage and usually kills one of your units, but as long as you have a support with some revives, it should be fine, and you can definitely get through it if you have revives. And I know I will die probably in here, so I'm just going to keep spamming skills. He doesn't really do a whole lot until he does one of his ult attacks. And he does spawn enemies, but I honestly don't know what they do because I just kill them instantly when they spawn. Yeah, there's two phases if you didn't know. Yeah, he does this attack. He does a lot of damage, but because I've got a tanky team right now, I can just survive it. And he spawns whatever these things are, I don't know what they are. But I just kill him with Roland skill 3, no problem, I think. Yeah, so I don't know what to do, I'll just kill him with AoE attacks, I suppose. Yeah, like, I had no problems with this whatsoever, because my team is very tanky, and Roland just very good, so... Hurts my hand from tapping this much of mouse. There you go. See, it's not too hard. Like, yeah, there are some difficult points there where he does a special attack, does a lot of damage, almost kills some of my units, but if either try and make your team tanky enough to survive it. If you can't do that, then make sure you have enough revives and try and burst through it as fast as you can, because those are like the only two ways you can really get through it. Either survive it, like I did, and just make sure you do as many debuffs as possible so he doesn't do that much damage to kill your units, or you continuously revive through it. If your support survives, then you should have no problems, because your support can just revive your other units anyways, and then your main damage dealer can just do all the damage and kill it quite easily. So yeah, but damage is super important. It was quite easy for me because Roland does a lot of damage. He does a lot of damage, With his buff active, his 100% crit rate with aim vitals and advanced aim vitals does a lot of damage. And he has Divinity Buster, so I do have the God Slayer effect, and I do have some decent damage skills on him, so that's why with his buff active he was doing a lot of damage, but not every unit's going to be able to do that. If you're using Shifted Dell, it's going to be different. Shifted Dell is going to need a hell of a lot more damage, and make sure you have, you know, Slayers, but I'm pretty sure he does have Boss Slayer, doesn't he? I haven't used him in a while, but yeah, it's not super difficult as long as you go in prepared with a team like this. It's pretty easy, and I cleared that in 2.5 minutes, no problem. So none of my units even managed to die there. So yes, it's easy with this team. Just try and do something similar, I suppose. Have one main damage dealer, have one main support. Your third unit really depends on what your team is like. But if you're using a Shifted Dell and don't have Rolands, it's going to be a bit different, because you will need a lot more damage. Shifted Dell isn't as good, but he should work 100%. He's definitely going to work. Just try and survive the attacks and do enough damage. That's really all it is. Spam important debuffs, reduce their defense, reduce strength, that type of stuff. Should have no problems whatsoever. So I think I'll leave it there for today. My conclusion for this anniversary, I do think this anniversary is pretty fun. I do like the crest system. I've been doing the crest stages quite a lot, and it has been pretty fun, pretty difficult, and I do think this is a good anniversary. They always do a very good job in this game with anniversary, so I don't have any complaints there. In regards to the units and the banners themselves, I do think the banners, they have been pretty good. We have gotten some good stuff from this anniversary, like a URARC ticket and a unit ticket, with some very good selections from those, like Telestio from that selection is pretty good, and Lillahar, and, you know, Labref, we got some good selections from those unit tickets. And even the arcs, like, if you don't have Great War Throne or Theophilus, that's very good. So definitely some good stuff in this anniversary. About the new banners, I can definitely see that Ascended Roland's banner is much better. It's the best banner right now. If you're planning to summon, definitely do it on Ascended Roland's banner, because this banner has some nice stuff in it. Ascended Roland is your best damage dealer option if you don't have Sholtir. So if you don't have Sholtir, I would highly recommend to try and get Ascended Roland if you can, because he's going to carry you through pretty much everything, and I've been using him as my best damage dealer in the end game high difficulty content, and he's very good against that, because he hits very hard when he has his buff active, because 100% crit rate means you can increase your crit damage even further with aim vitals and advanced aim vitals, and increases damage by a hell of a lot more than a typical unit. So I do like him. He's pretty damn good. I've been using him a hell of a lot. He's even pretty decent in PvP as well. I'm using him in Arena on my defense, and in guild battles sometimes he can be pretty good there. So I do think he's quite a good unit, definitely better of a unit. He's definitely on the higher tier of units, 100%. He's definitely an anniversary worthy unit. He is a damage dealer at the end of the day, so you may not need this type of unit, but if you do need a damage dealer that you're looking for like end game content and stuff to clear everything, he's going to be your best option if you don't have Sholtir. If you do have Shift Adele, yes, Ascended Roland will be a upgrade. He can be better, so I'll leave it up to you if you want to summon. I think he is worth a couple of pulls, because it really depends on what your account has. If you don't have Sholtir, he's definitely more worth it than players that already have Sholtir, but I still think he's going to be great even if you do have Sholtir, because stuff like raid bosses require multiple teams, and I think some people will use Rolands in those teams, so I think it's going to be nice. And then of course this URARC is quite a strong one. It has some very good effects, very good trait, nice learnable skills. Archive reward is okay, nothing crazy, but it's just a very solid arc overall. So that does make this banner quite a good banner to try and get either the unit or the arc. If you get either one, it doesn't matter, because they're both good, so can't go wrong with this banner. It's a pretty good banner. There are things coming up, so you may want to save for some upcoming banners. Like next week we've got the Redux banner for Bayonetta. I highly recommend to save some crystals for that just in case, because we know what's going to be in it, because it's just a rerun. We're gonna get Jan and Bayonetta and 2 LR arcs. I believe we don't get anything for free, so you must save your crystals for it, because you're gonna need them for that for sure. So we're gonna have to wait and see how that is. And we've also got Demonplate Alice. I've done some testing with her. She seems like she'll be pretty strong. She's not going to be as good as Ascended Roland. I think she's not going to be as good. She's not going to be as useful, but I think she will be definitely a fun unit to use, 100%. Some of the kit is kind of questionable, and I wish it could have been done better or improved. Like, if she had true dual wields and her skills felt a bit better, I feel like she could have been an amazing top tier unit. But because of those drawbacks with this unit, she isn't going to be super broken. I think she'll be strong. I just don't think she's going to be meta changing or anything, so you don't really need her that badly. But if you like Alice, then you could summon. It's up to you. But you don't need to pull super hard on this banner. Maybe a couple single pulls. The UR arc, not that great. I'll be honest. It's not that great. The trait is literally specifically for Alice, right? The new Alice is specifically for her. Hardly anyone else can take the full benefit from this trait. And then the learnable skills, they are, they're okay, but this one is literally for arena and guild battles, so specifically a PvP skill, and I hate it for that reason. And this one is quite good for PvP as well, and Sounding Depths could sometimes be useful in PvE, but it's not that crazy. And then Thunder Attack Raise 3 could be used on the new Alice, but you really don't need any of those things unless you care a lot about PvP, and I don't really care about PvP, so I don't really care about this arc. And this armor is okay because it gives 20% damage and damage cap and some strength, but you take more damage. I'm just not the biggest fan of it because you take more damage, which is a negative thing. So I feel like you don't really need this. If you manage to get it, then yes, it can be useful, because some of this stuff can be used in arena and guild battles, and maybe Attack Raise 3 on the new Alice, or some Thunder units, and maybe Sounding Depths on some special damage dealer units, but apart from that, it doesn't really have much going for it. So the arc is kind of mid, not that great for a UR arc, honestly. Demonplate Alice could be pretty good. So I think Ascended Roland's banner, 100% the best one. We should be able to get some more tickets from the login event coming up soon, I think, for part 2. And we also get some more free pulls coming up today, so that's going to be nice. And we do have Leonardo's banner up as well. I do think it's good, but it's more for PvP. So if you don't care about arena guild battles, then you probably don't need to worry too much about this unit. He can be good in PvE as well if you want to focus on an ice team, but if you don't care about an ice team, or you don't really need an ice damage dealer, then you probably don't really need Leonardo at all. He is pretty good because of his SCT regen, so for a new player, his SCT, restore 1 SCT stock for 1 skill when that cut HP effect activates, is very strong of an effect, and I do like it quite a bit, and that can make him useful for new players, because if you don't have any SCT regen skills, he can be very good for that. And also this 4 Advocates of Lilahar arc is a very nice one, definitely a very good one, because it has a hell of a lot here. Dog Eat Dog 2, Infinity High Boost and Infinity High Drive is a very nice one. I like the learnable skills on this one the most. I think the staff's kind of bad. It's not the best. It's not that great. The trait is okay. The trait's okay, but I do think the learnable skills are the main thing about this arc. So yeah, decent banner. I think they're all decent banners. I just don't think you must have any of it. If you must have any, if I were to pick one of them, obviously it would be Ascended Roland, and this arc would be the top 2 things that I would want to get out of everything in here at the moment. And then number 3 probably being, I don't know, probably Leonardo's arc, if I'm honest, but that's a 0.4% chance, so don't worry about it. But yeah, if you don't have Roland yet, or the arc, this will be your best banner to pull on right now. And I think that's pretty much everything in regards to the banners. Don't do this. This is terrible. 10,000 paid crystals for this arc. Bad idea. I think PvP players are going to want to get this. They're probably going to want to get it, but I can see a good amount of players wanting to get it just for the fast ice resist, just to mess with people, because Prefect of God Zero is used a lot in arena and guild battles, and it's just going to be annoying. But yeah, I think that's everything for now, for today. I think this anniversary was pretty good. I like this anniversary. There's been a good amount of events in here, good rewards. Like always, they always do a good job with anniversaries in this game. I might as well just quickly check what was in part 1, because yeah, the new story was amazing. I really liked the new story. It was very good. Definitely on the better end of stories. One of my favourite stories so far. It was a very good story. If you haven't done it yet, make sure to do it and get there soon, because it's very fun. Obviously, we got all the tickets. Next week on April the 30th, we have another credentialed trade ticket, and that day is also when we get the Redux for Bayonetta. Obviously, we had some login bonuses and step gachas, free pulls. The anniversary events were very good. I liked the anniversary event a lot. That was great. The banners were great. And obviously the crest system is, I think it's pretty fun. The skill changes, the paid arc was solid. So yeah, definitely some good stuff in this anniversary, so I can't really complain. I just wish they did Alice a little bit better than what they did. But I still think she'll be okay. I just don't think she's a must-have. You don't really need her. So I'll leave it there for today, I think. Honestly, did pretty well today. Got everything that I wanted, so I'm happy with that. And I have a lot of stuff that I need to do over the next couple of weeks, because I really need to... Yeah, she's still probably a top DPS. I don't know. I don't know what her DPS numbers look like, but I still think it's going to be solid. I just don't think it's going to be anything game-breaking. She will still be decent, though. I want to build Medine, Shift Medine for guild battles, and I still need to build Alice, and Celestio, and Leodor, so I have a lot of units that I need to build right now, so I definitely have some stuff I need to do. Yeah, Jian might be very good with Insight. Jian, if you remember, when Jian came out, she was the best physical damage dealer in the time trial when she came out. Her skill 3 was very fast and spammable. It was very good. And she is also a very strong tank, so her insight is... people are looking forward to her insight for sure, because if she gets a bunch of damage cap and damage and enough mitigation, then her insight could make her a very strong unit again. Like, she's still a very useful unit today as a tank in PvP if you have her paid cloves, but with her insight I think she's going to be even better, and you're going to see a lot more people using her when she releases with her, you know, Godforge equipments and her insight. She should be pretty good, but don't expect too much improvement. What I expect is only a tiny bit of damage mitigation and mostly damage caps and maybe some physical damage, but I don't think there's going to be that much in her insight. I just think it's going to be enough of an improvement to make her a, you know, up-to-date unit with her insight. I think she's going to be very good. So definitely wait for that if you're interested in Jian, and some of the arcs are pretty solid too, so I think waiting for that is definitely a good idea. So I'll leave it there for today. I do have some plans for some videos soon. I think I'll probably do a video on the Bayonetta collab banners and stuff instead of a stream, because a stream would be too short, because it's not a completely new unit, it's just insight upgrades and stuff. So I'll probably do that in a video, and I will try to do a new up-to-date reroll video. I just haven't gotten around to it yet because it does take a long time. It takes like a couple of hours to do that, so I need to find some time where I can really sit down and get that finished, because I have kind of started it. I just need to actually record it and start doing that, because I know people would want to see that. It's not going to be too much different, but I do have some plans. I just got to get around to when I feel like actually start doing those. So 8K is pretty good. I'm hoping there's going to be some like step gachas or something. Like if you could do if there was like a guaranteed ticket where you could select one of the units or arcs or something in a step gacha, that would be very nice. But I feel like it's just going to be the banners are just going to come back. I don't think it's going to be anything special, but we're going to have to wait and see. That's going to be next week though, so that'll be fun. I'll leave it there for today. It's been 2.5 hours. I need to make a break from this. I will add the timestamps very soon. In the next half an hour, they'll be there, and you can check back to this if you really want to. But thanks for showing up. I have a lot of stuff I need to do in this game with building units. I've got a lot of stuff I need to do, which is fun. I do like that. So I'll leave it there. Yeah, if they give a new unit, it would be great, but we're not expecting a free unit or free ticket or something, because it's just going to be a redux and not an actual rerun of the collab itself. It's just going to be rerunning the banners. There's not going to be any events, I think. I think it's just going to be the banners itself. So I don't think there's really going to be any much going on with it. It's just going to be bringing back the units, bringing back the arcs. I think that's all they're doing with Insight and stuff. So we'll have to see how it goes. Don't expect too much from it, because you're probably going to be disappointed if you're expecting a lot, because it's just going to be something small. So expect smaller scale from the upcoming Redux collab thing, because it's not even an event or anything, it's just a Redux banner. So I'll leave it there for today. Thanks for coming. I'll see you in 2 weeks. I will try to do a couple videos between now and the next time a unit is released. I'll try to. I should be able to get a video up next week on the Bayonetta banners and talk about their insight and mess around with those like I would usually do in a stream, just in video format instead, which would be hardly any different if you're watching this in the future anyways, so don't worry about that. And yeah, I'll leave it there. Enough waffling about nothing, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.